All right. Yo, what's up? It's your boy Swish Guy, but you guys can call me Cole. This is Never Sleep, episode 3. It's a Dream On sponsored podcast. This one's more out like we come from Smash. We'll explain about that in a little bit. We're an organization featured on mental health and positivity, trying to grow together in this bleak ass world where everybody's alone and no one needs to feel that way over here, and they don't. But today I am joined by none other than one of my best friends in real life, Roger, aka Smakadop. And we have an
Yep.
esports health professional we are speaking to today in KAO, aka Zach. Roger, if you'd like to say anything or introduce yourself, please, you have the floor.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Roger, also Smakadop. I am actually not a Smash person. I am an avid gamer. I'm in my 40s now. I have a family. I've gone through a lot of different mental health stuff. So my perspective will just be my own personal experiences, some of the methods I use to cope, and get through things. Really just general input and helping moderate this. So.
Thank you, Roger. I appreciate that. Very well described. Also, not a Smash person. That's also very highly regarded in Dream On. Thank you. One of my best friends in real life. And how about you, Zach?
Well, I am a Smash person for sure. I've been in the Pittsburgh Smash team for over 10 years. I've competed regionally and all over uh, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Ohio for many years under the tag KAO. I'm a Rob main. I've had a series of PR titles over the last 10 years as well, making top three in Pittsburgh in 2023, I believe, 2022, 2023, and I've been able to have the privilege of being able to take my experience in esports and transfer it over and combine it to my professional career as an occupational therapist.
That was awesome. I also had the I don't know if it's pleasure or displeasure, but we played at Midgar Mayhem in Cleveland State like 2 months ago. You fucking washed me.
Yeah,
You cleaned my ass,
yeah.
bro. That
Sorry
was
about that,
fucked.
bro.
Yeah, I know, but I also someone who studies this and is also really good at the game. So obviously the he practices what he preaches. You know, what I mean, I think it's really important to
Yeah.
understand. But we're gonna get into some questions here. Where I yes, I know it's gonna all tab every time I do that. Oh, shill time. I know my camera's all fucked up, but my second round. Oh wait, hold on a second. Let me do this. Yeah, my fucking yo. You can't really see it because the camera's fucked up. Because we know technical difficulties. It wouldn't be a fucking Dream On thing without technical difficulties. Shout out Dream On Productions. My shirt came in. If you want it, exclamation point merch in my chat. I'll have it plugged into YouTube. Make sure you guys check it out. The merch is going hard. People are buying it. I'm really happy about that. It's blurry as fuck. That's my shield for that one. YouTube, we hit over 500 subscribers just now. That means I can
Oh,
monetize my. That
congrats.
means I can monetize my channel. Don't tell anybody though. So yeah, this will be on my YouTube afterwards, and yeah, make sure you guys follow the Twitch. We hit the sub goal. I'll be doing my 3 day Joker thing. I also like play Smash. That's like where my stream started and everything like that. I'm a Cloud main. I think most people know that by this point. Doing a little Joker thing, 3 day sub goal that we hit, and yeah, what am I leaving out? Join the movement. Exclamation point Dream On. Join the Discord. We are not just about Smash. We just made a Valorant team. We do this mental health stuff. I mean, like, I care about this shit deeply, and everyone kind of sees what I'm going through and shit like that anyway. So, I mean, like, yeah, that's my shield, bro. Oh, wait. That didn't work. J Bob, try again. All right, let's move on to the next situation, shall we?
Yeah.
KAL, aka Zach, an esports
Yeah.
health professional. What interested you in
Yes, sir.
becoming an esports health professional?
Well, I was telling Roger earlier before the stream started, but the current medical model of like treating like esports injuries is, oh, just stop playing video games. Well, like all three of us know, and probably everybody that watches, like esports runs way deeper than just stop playing. For a lot of the players that we watch, and a lot of, personally, it's a lot harder than to just stop playing. We can take breaks as needed, but ultimately there really is not a medical care plan to treat these injuries or treat these players. And like I said, the current model is just stop playing. So when I was in school, I did my doctorate in esports health and researching these injuries and finding ways to decrease recovery times and increase performance in order for these players to get back in and play the best that they can.
As so, would you consider it more on like the physical side as what you studied?
It was so it can't. you can't do esports without also understanding the mental health components of it too. I think
Facts, for
that
sure.
both sides of it are like wildly underexplored.
I
Didn't mean to cut you
agree.
off there.
Oh no, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. Snowflame says hi to you, by the way.
Oh, what's up, Steph?
There you go. Just before we move into the next question, I believe it was 2 years ago. There was a pre-local to Riptide. Did you do a seminar at the old one in Parma Heights?
Yes, yes, I
I
did.
was
Good
there for
memory.
that.
You. Oh wow, small world. Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, fun fact: I almost beat Lima at that tournament.
Oh,
Shout.
oh yeah, there were like a lot of
Yeah,
people there that were really good too. That was a really stacked ass
yeah,
pre-local.
yeah. That was. I had a little booth in the back to allow players to ask me questions in private, things that were going on, bothering them, whether it be physical or mental. And that seminar was encouraging a lot of what I'm here to talk about today, which is that this stuff at the bottom line matters, and what we do is important.
I agree with that.
And in order, and I think that there's a hard balance that you need to have when it comes to this matters to me, but also understanding there are other parts of my life that matter too, and there are people that care about me outside of the game as well. And finding that balance is also super important.
Yes, nicely said, Roger. Do you have any input to say on that? I like the way that was worded.
So I'm actually on the opposite side of that. Um, in the perspective that I probably need this for myself.
Mhm.
I have
Yeah, of
days where, I isolate and
course.
I'll one use gaming as a coping mechanism. So, how do I
Yeah.
escape, my day-to-day stress? And then on other days when it's entertainment, I'll get so
Hmm.
entertained I just won't move for hours at a time, which like again,
Yeah.
I'm an older guy. Like I need to know I need to get up, I need to move around, I need to take care of my body. So from both sides of these perspectives, like I need to be more mindful of my practices and how I'm,
Hmm.
acting about, my gaming lifestyle.
So
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Zach. You got the floor. You're
Oh no, I was just gonna say, it's all in that balance, right? And the casual versus competitive landscape. And I think, whenever both of us, Nicole and I, are competitive players, there's that added pressure to perform, that extra like mental weight of, am I doing the best I can? Did I, what are my goals while I'm here? And how does that, not reaching that expectation can be an absolute, deficit when it comes to, your mental health and how you're feeling about yourself, your self esteem. What you mentioned, Roger, too, about, it is a coping mechanism. And I think for all three of us, it is. There are some days where, we can, return to something that makes us feel a little bit better about, escaping from the pressures of day to day life, or, the state of the world right now. It's undeniably, scary, and every day there's a change. So we
hmm
have our comfort days. And I think there is, or there obviously is something to being able to find something that brings you joy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think just making sure that on top of that, you schedule in, whether you write it down, set a reminder to make sure you check in with, those people outside that really care about you too. Just like a, hey, I'm alive, just playing my games right now, but, I'm here,
Yeah.
So again, from my perspective, and like, at work, I'm a manager. At home, I'm a
Yeah.
dad and a husband. Like I
Wow.
know there's people that care about me, and there's also the
Hmm.
pressure of like having to do right by them. So the escapism is
Right.
like I don't have people dependent on me at all times. Like this is my
Yes.
chance to not have to try to be a protector or a provider or you know
Absolutely.
a voice of reason for people. And part of what I'll talk about later is like that's something I do take pride in. Like I like being a
Hmm.
father. I like being able to
Same.
be there for people. It's something I don't turn off, which is kind of like we'll talk about my relationship with Cole, but like I like to try to help people that dad in me has to like make sure everyone's okay. It's just part of who I am now. So
Well,
Absolutely.
I'm gonna Emma underscore AF says hello KAO, by the way. I'm more on the mental health side of things, and
Hello.
I kind of see the middle ground of like where we're like what both are saying here, and also I think that it's important to understand that people like your priorities might not be the same as mine. Priorities are dynamic and unique to the people. Like Roger has a family, he wants to take care of it, so he uses video games as leisure, and that's healthy. because it's not
Uh-huh.
eating his life away. It's not something that he's just sinking all his time into and neglecting his family and like doing what he believes is correct because what he believes is correct and he's doing right by the people he loves. He's doing the right thing. I truly believe that.
Right.
For us on the competitive side of things, I do think there's a very strong lack of people having this balance between what's healthy for them, like personal relationships, for instance. You mentioned reaching out to people or having like just saying, "Hey, what's up? I'm good." I see my viewpoint on that from the mental health side is reach out to somebody that's not you and ask them if they're okay. Because, like you said, the world's fucked
Yeah.
up. We already know. I'm more raw in my approach. I'm sorry. That's just I know I'm not. I don't claim to anything other than that. But like, yeah, no, like, hey, like Roger, for instance, or like anybody in my in Dream On or whatever. Like, yo, are you guys doing good? Because then when you do that and you help the next person, it makes you feel good about yourself. Like Roger helping his family helps
Yeah.
him and his unwinding time. Like me, my personal experience like Roger and I will play League. Like he'll stay at home or whatever, and like I'll be trying to work on some stuff. And like while we're playing League at like 1 p.m. on a Wednesday or something, I'm thinking of ideas, and it helps me. Like everyone, like music, I have to listen to a certain song at 5 p.m. every day. I
Mhm.
know what centers me. I think people need to find that. That's kind of like on the mental health side of things. But balance is so important.
Yeah. There's a couple assessments I use called the COPM, where it's not a measurement of like a diagnostic tool. You have this, you have that. It's a measurement of how important is this to you, and are you reaching that goal? Like if I say, how important is it that you play those video games 1 to 10, and you're at a 10? How often are you able to do that? And you say a 3, there's a disconnect there. And so you would work with me to try to say like, okay, how can we fit this in more? Like this is like really important to you. And you can substitute video games in for anything. And it's such a powerful tool to like for one as a provider and two as a patient for you to realize, wow, this is a difference here. And I what are we going to do to try to reach that? And that's where, I can come in, we can come up with some goals that I'm going to do X, Y, and Z in order to reach my goal of I really want to make sure I'm taking time to do this thing that's really important to me.
That I'm actually really happy we're doing this. I think this is very insightful. Like it's meant to be serious, and
Yeah.
this is coming straight from the source. I did have a question for you though. Like
What's
before we
up?
move, like a underlying question besides the other ones we have written down. How like I know that like it has nothing to do with Dream On, but I see that you got a new sponsorship and stuff like that. What are they
Yeah.
like? What do
On
you
the
do?
front.
Yeah, no, no, it's all good. You already know that. You know how I feel about that. If you got to move on, like, dude, if people got to do what's healthy for them and it gives them a new opportunity, man, Green Man's never going anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, you're always a part of it. If you were once a part of it, you're always a part of it. But my question is, like, what do they have you doing for their organization? And, like, how would you describe that to somebody who wouldn't understand it?
Yeah, the best way I describe it is first of all, I hope that they watch like any type of sport, right? Like football and hockey, whoever. There are guys on the sidelines that are ready to bolt in. They fall on the ice. They Tyreek Hill, messed up
Oh,
his knee
yeah.
like on live television. Like there's someone running out there, right? Like there's millions and millions of dollars that are on, for these healthcare providers to run in there and help these players, but I describe myself as I'm more on the preventative side. That like in esports, there's really a very low risk of something serious happening. During during Smash, League, Valorant, whatever. Where somebody no one's gonna like tear up their knee pending some extreme circumstances. But what you can do is be on the sidelines and just be like, hey, how are we feeling today? Like first and foremost, how are your hands? Your hands bothering you? Do you have the right equipment? Are you going in and you have a wrist injury? Do we have an adjustment to your mouse? Are how are your controls? What's going on here for you to be able to play at your best? So what I do for Cold Front is make sure that all of their players across all their teams are playing at their best and they're as healthy as they can be.
Damn. That's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's a
That's
cool gig.
that's a really nice gig. I will say though, like yes, if it like when you like from the I'll bring it to like you check on them and make sure like all those things it's preventative as you said, right? I think another thing too
Hmm.
is like Like if you play video games for leisure or competitively, you could be doing way worse with your life. Like I said, I'm more raw in my approach, but you could be out there doing dope. You could be out there like gangbanging and shit. You know, there's like other unhealthy things you could be doing, bro. Like you're playing a video game and like something like Smash, for instance. By the way, KO is really fucking good at Smash. So I'd listen to this dude.
Thank you.
I would 100% listen to this dude. He's got the accolades, I promise you. But like, if you look at it
Thank
from a
you.
standpoint of like, well, I'm playing a game that is complete. There's a lot of reaction time. There's a lot of quick decision making. It's engaging, and it makes you think about what someone else is doing. It kind of like, from my perspective, like it helps me anticipate certain situations in life because of like, if I'm sitting here talking about mix all day when I'm coaching people, like I got to think that life's gonna mix me up too. Like it's just life in like it's all synonymous in my opinion, but it's all perspective. I think perspective is very important.
Yeah, and like you alluded to there, I think that what pushed me through and made me want and know I needed to do this is because I have that lived experience of being a competitor at Smash for so long that I've got to be with so many people from all walks of life that we all know that this matters. And regardless of not just my accolades help in saying like I get what it takes. I know I've been there. And on top of that, I put in 8 years of school.
Oh yeah, that's important. That's definitely important. Roger, do you have anything you want to add to this?
No, I'm just kind of soaking this one in, to be
That's
honest.
cool. I do think
Yeah.
it's important. I do think like Zach. I think we're one and the same. I definitely do. I think it's important to like understand why like when I coach people and stuff like that. I tell them a lot of like like in like let's say in Smash for instance like if you're in a last stock situation. I always tell people think the person other than you like your opponent is panicking more than you are. It's all perspective. I think perspective's huge. But we'll move on. We'll move on. Um, what was your journey like in becoming an esports health professional, or how would you guide someone who wanted to follow the same profession?
So imagine trying to explain this to a group of old doctors whose only experience with video games was either their kids play it or they played Pong, or they saw it once, like in like
Smash words.
it is so like literally. I had to like the beginning of my dissertation was defining video games because you had to walk it way back, and I would say if anybody is like me, in grad school, where you're just ambitious, like you want to go for it. I think I would say we gotta take a couple steps back. We gotta go. Okay, the audience here is not people like you, Cole, or you, Roger. Like these are people who are like I walk in day in day out, and I treat like these wrist injuries, or I'm seeing like what I think video games are. These lazy unproductive, all these negative terms when that's just so not the case. And I think that if I were to guide someone in this to do what I do, I would say first help your community. I would not be here without the Pittsburgh Smash community.
Hmm.
That they believed in my mission and they knew that what I was doing was important. And I was like, I interviewed players in the scene of like, what do you think your barriers were? One of my first assignments in school was regarding actually like transgender individuals, and I realized like or excuse me, there is so much evidence of these people are not getting adequate care, and I had the opportunity to interview many of these players, and a lot of them stood out to me of like they were not receiving adequate care. And so, in the same way of of like transgenders and other minorities that have like challenges with the healthcare system, you have to take multiple steps back and realizing what it is that you want to do in order to make a change that you think matters. And for me, it was that esports health really matters.
Hmm.
And a lot, these careers are short, but there's a lot of money being put into it. So how are you going to approach the problem? Are you going to say, you know, like I did of we're going to see these players and treat any hand injuries, in the moment, or are we going to take a more preventative approach? And I would say that main points of advice: interview your scene, find out what the problems are, So you're able to bring that attention to your board, whoever your mentors are. So you can say, I heard that these problems are going on in my community, because that's what they ultimately respond to. We're treating a community issue. This is a problem that we're seeing. This is understandable. You're putting it in their language. From there, you're able to take those steps that you need to, whether it's esports health, whether it's helping a minority community, or you want to take another approach of adaptive technology, or there's a colleague of mine who went on to develop like the Xbox controller, like the adaptive one, and all of that is aiding in making the video game community a healthier and better place for everybody, regardless of casual or competitive. That was very long winded, but I wanted to make sure I really put everything out there.
I think you kind of nailed it.
Roger,
No,
yeah,
thank you.
yeah, no, you did. Roger, do you want to say anything?
So I kind of have like it's more of a personal question, and like regards of,
Sure.
we talked about how these old doctors, the old doctors don't understand the
I do think
perspective.
this
They
is
don't
important,
understand
by the way. This is fucking important.
the culture. Like again, there's the stigma that gamers are lazy, and like again, to my counterpoint, I've already talked about that. I'm kind of lazy once I start gaming, but when you talk about it, the level in which you're at, if anyone who's watched, I watch League competitive, series, is those guys are working out an hour a day, doing mental training every time, or like an hour a day. They'll do 2 3 hour scrimmages. They'll go work out a second time. There's a lot of physical
Yeah.
things that they're doing to keep their bodies healthy, to keep their minds healthy, to obviously, you know, take care of their hands and their the money makers. But
Mhm.
uh, has you like what is your approach to trying to change some of that perspective, or do you just like kind of accept it for what it is? Like, do you just kind of stick to the medical nitty gritty part of it, or do you like try to articulate, hey, that's great that you have that perspective. I won't take that from you, but I understand that these are people that are training their entire bodies for this. It is a very niche, specific, fine-tuned machine part that they're doing, and it is a very
Mhm.
holistic approach than it just sitting around clicking buttons. Like, it's not that simple the way they
Uh-uh.
approach this. It's like any other athlete.
Yeah. And I think that it's a hard sell, not to, a lot of these old doctors, have done, a lot of amazing things. And I want to discredit that. However, I do need to mention that I think the best way I've approached it is, uh, is one, I'm not going to say it's not hard. It's hard to change anybody's mind. And especially you have like 30 years of like, well, I didn't have this 30 years ago. Well, yeah, because the world changes, right? Like, um, not, my father is the smartest and most amazing person I will ever know. And I say that before saying that my whole life he has, not quite understood what it is that I do. And I've tried
Preach,
explaining to
preach.
him that he goes out and golfs, right? And I've told him, you go out and golf, that matters to you, right? Like on Saturday mornings, you're out and you're golfing, until the following, you're going bowling, whatever. That is what you do to enjoy your time. That you have that work life balance. So on the same idea, when it comes to playing video games, that's my balance. This is my community. And I've actually found like some amazing videos. One actually by turned down from Walt, not with the insane um idea of video games matter, but like Smash matters. And these are the group of the people that have made it happen. That Smash has a story of a group of people who came together just because they love this video game. And even though esports outside of just Smash has that developer support and has a lot more resources, you're able to communicate that this matters, and there are people who get together and do this and will and need someone there in order to take care of them. That they're not lazy, they are some of the most passionate people on the planet. They are so creative, they are so smart, they are able to do so much in order to just enjoy a game that they love with other people who love it too. I hope that somewhat
Yeah.
answered your question.
No, it does, and I'm gonna piggyback off that a little bit. I
Yeah.
like from like my perspective, especially like focusing on mental health and stuff like that. I think that people, well, human beings specifically, we require a sense of community. I know from some of the
Yeah.
people I was working with at I was working with prisoners and things like that, and like kind of helping them through things. And I see the things they go through and like the things they've done, and it's not the best, but um, the highest rates of people that unalive, so to speak, um, they lack the sense of community. They lack that sense of purpose. They try to
Yeah.
belong to something. They try to insert themselves into a group of people and they get rejected. So then they start rejecting themselves. And it's like this ripple effect that slowly deteriorates their brain. And like Smash as a whole
Yeah.
is very productive. I mean, like I said, I use this as all the time, bro. We could be out here gangbanging instead we're out here doing crew battles. Like, I mean, like,
Mhm.
there's a huge difference here about like what's real. Like after dealing with
Yeah.
actual real gangbangers and things like that, like I see Smash and I'm like, dude, like, your dad goes golfing. Like I like the whole. My mom's gonna watch this, dude, and like I've had an issue explaining this to her
Mhm.
a lot, and she sees I show her numbers. It doesn't matter what I show her. It's still me sitting in front of a computer or me pulling the controller.
Yep.
It's still the same perspective. But the thing is, like you mentioned,
Yeah.
this is we're the ones that are gonna have to take over. I mean, we're the generations
Yeah.
that have. But we grew up on this. They didn't. So obviously, like
Mhm.
people like video games, we all grew up on them. Of course, they're gonna find a way to monetize it and turn it into a real thing, and then that's the birth of esports. And
Yeah.
like there's a lot of money involved in this. There's a lot of money involved in streaming. It's not the easiest thing to explain to somebody that is ignorant to it, and like ignorant not in an offensive way, but it's a sense of community. Smash is not like this, like, or just it could be League, it could be Smash, be Valorant, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's a sense of community. It's a sense of belonging, and you should be a part of something that actually accepts you. And like you said, there's a lot of acceptance involved here, but like people like Zach and Roger and myself, like we have to kind of spearhead that movement to make these things transcend into something where it's not the most detrimental thing for people, if that makes sense. I will move on
Yeah.
to the next question.
Sure.
What? Yeah, I'm sorry for production value. Fucking YouTube. I have to alt tab every time. What are two secrets as an esports health professional you wish every gamer slash person in esports should know that could help them out? Could it be it could be physical or mental health?
I would say first and foremost, um, on the mental health side, I would say acknowledge when you need to take a break. Like it leads to the biggest burnout ever. And I don't mean like, oh, stop playing the game entirely, like, crash out, that term. But I mean like from the Smash perspective, if you're playing someone and you're like, man, this is just bothering me. Like I hate this right now. I'm playing that Steve. I'm playing online, period. Like I'm not enjoying this and I'm not having a good time. That like saying to yourself, you don't need to tell your opponent, I need to step away from this 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm like, this is bothering me. This is upsetting me. This is not good for me right now. My blood is boiling. I'm feeling tense. I'm ready to throw my controller across the room. This is not good. So I need to say, okay, after this game, excuse me, after this game, I'm going to just step away for 10 minutes. I'm going to listen to a song. I'm going to do something else because this is not good for me. My body is telling me this is not good for me. Now, living with that tilt, not the best idea. Like if you keep pushing through it, tilt is gonna win. That is a 100-0 matchup. You are
Oh
not getting
yeah,
out of that.
my God.
Um, so as soon as you start to recognize, like, man, I am not like this is not it. I'm not enjoying this right now. I'm going to step away from this. Now, this only applies to like, you're playing by yourself. When it comes to like in bracket, there are other strategies that you can use. Taking a deep breath. You know, after the game, you don't need to jump right back into it right away. Oh, I'm so angry. I'm just going to jump back, run it back, run it back. Yep, exactly. You need to take breath. Have some water with you. I have my water. Oh man, that
Drink
was
your
not good.
H2O, guys.
Yeah. Um, I would also say on the physical side of things, um, in my research, I have found that like staying high. This might sound obvious, but staying hydrated and not starving yourself before a bracket, like the amount of Smash players, like at my level and higher, that are like, oh yeah, I didn't eat. Yeah, I don't eat during bracket, man.
Mhm.
I'm like, why? Like you're just crashing your blood sugar. You are giving yourself a headache. You're dehydrated, and you think that's going to make you perform better? Like my God, like I'm not saying you need to have a whole 5 course meal, but have some a packet of nuts with you, a peanut butter bar, a protein bar, water, just something small. So again, you're not giving yourself a literally crash. I think that making sure you're taking time to take care of yourself is so important for bracket.
I
I
did see a
promise
question
you, your
about this
body will
though.
be so much
Yeah, I was gonna say.
happier.
Someone asked you a question about this in Dreamer questions. I'm glad you brought that up. We'll save
Oh,
the
really? Oh,
answer.
sweet.
Yeah, the solid segue. You walked right into it.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
question was, what is the best diet to stay focused during brackets that are long?
Brackets are. Could you ask them to clarify, like a
Here,
major, or just like
I'll explain.
your
I'll explain.
local is like
I'll explain.
The,
So
your
the
locals just
question
going
as it was
crazy?
written. So
I'll explain. I understand the question. So basically, let's say like you're at your skill level or someone higher or someone that's like like say you have like a bracket and like even if you make it like let's say you lose in like winners round one and like you're just playing through losers and you got to wait like 8 hours but like you don't want to like leave
Yep.
because you want to stay locked in your brain, right? So
Yep.
like what would you suggest to somebody diet wise to prevent that? Or like because I know like you don't want to just go eat like a bunch of Popeyes biscuits because it's going to slow you down. So like what would you suggest people like like specifically diet wise during that time?
First, I would like to say make sure that you're taking into account like any allergies you might have. I don't want to make sure I caveat that anything like specific to
W
you,
cover,
on your
dude.
that for yourself. I need to just cover my bases.
W
Cover my
cover,
bases. My
bro.
mom's a dietitian, so I need to shout her out.
that's
You
a
know,
doctorate at work right
uh,
there.
Yeah, let's go, dude.
yeah.
Love it. Love it.
um, but quickly, I really think like those energy bars are good. Personally, like taste wise, I really like Lara bars are good. Barbells are good. Anything that like helps you before like a workout, like well, meat sticks can be good because they're pretty higher in like dense like calorically. So like those calories are gonna like hold you over for longer. Um, so especially like peanut butter would hold you over for a good like hour or two. It's not like a meal replacement, but if you're not able to leave the venue because you're in what I tell my friends and family too, I'm in the black hole. Like I don't know
Facts.
what time it is. I don't know what's going on. Like there's probably not even reception in here. I don't know when my next match is, and I don't know when I'm
Just
leaving.
rob shit.
Um, I usually make sure that if I don't know, sometimes you're lucky and you're at a venue that's like close by to a restaurant or a convenience store. Not always the case. I've played in some wacky venues over the
Oh
years.
yeah, dude.
Um,
We're hurt and helpless.
yeah, you ever
Smash sucks.
play in a shed in the Maryland border?
Dude, it's the worst. There's nothing nearby ever. I swear to God. I guess
Hmm.
just to generalize the question, like would you suggest like so you mentioned like things like the bars or like I've heard peanuts, I've heard peanut butter, things
Yep.
like that. Emma underscore EF who shout out by the way said mozzarella
Yeah.
sticks.
What's up, Emma?
Mozzarella sticks. I don't think that's the right one, is it? Mozzarella's
Emma
the one.
doesn't compete.
Well, there you go. Like when I was
Emma,
like
enjoy your mozzarella sticks.
I've been in this position. Like I like I go through all these things. I'm say I'm like playing at like we'll use Riptide, which is a major that we have at Kalahari out here in Ohio. There's a lot of
Yep.
things nearby, but like it's not accessible because
There's
like you're not thinking about like oh I need to go feed myself. You're thinking about like there's so many things like distracting you and like you're thinking about like what's going on and like how do I need to play like I when I said prob shit like you're not thinking about food, you're thinking about what do I got, what's my next matchup look like. But if you got
yep.
like a pack of Planters peanuts or something like that, like would you
Yep.
suggest like what is something
Yep.
like simplified I guess.
Quick. Yeah, Planters peanuts, sunflower seeds, well, beef jerky, things that are, like I said, calorically dense. Like you don't want like potato chips that are like those empty calories where you're just kind of you eat them like it tastes good, but then you're kind of feeling not so great later. That's gonna be your really like your fried foods or your sweets. If you can, um, I would definitely like some fruit would be great. Like you have like some grapes with you. You have some strawberries, blueberries, apple slices. Those are all awesome foods to just keep on you if you're able to like bring a little lunchbox. Shout outs to Lily if she's ever she's a West Virginia um school teacher, and she's been dating Hawk for many years now. And God bless her, she comes with like a whole like case of like cereal
Soccer mom.
bars. Like literally, she is like stocked and ready to go. It's like a whole person. She will come in to bracket, and she goes, "I know y'all don't take care of yourselves." I'm like,
It's so true, bro. It's so true. That's why we're doing this, though. And I like the
yeah,
explanation.
exactly, right.
I
Like you
like
guys are
it.
gonna keep me in business.
I like the explanation. Well, I mean, it also like we're in the same vein if you think about it. I mean, we really are.
Yep.
Roger, do you have anything you want to add about that? You're muted.
No,
Okay.
words better. It's all
Yep,
right.
you're good. You're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, we're
Mine's
good.
not from the esports perspective, but I was a high school athlete, so yeah, going back to the not taking care of yourself and not thinking about what you're gonna eat. It's like before a football game, I didn't care. I was ready. I was focused on what I was doing there. What I needed to
Hmm.
do during track meets. Same thing. Track meets are multiple hours long. Didn't care about food. I was worried about what's my race. Where do I need to be? What do I need to get my head and my body right? Like you lose perspective of just like that basic core necessities because you're just so locked into what needs to happen. So no, I
Yep.
think that's good. And
I
I have to say that the hiking diet is a good
facts.
way. I agree.
Yes.
Facts.
When I want to have snacks, you're looking for your peanuts, your trail mix stuff, your jerky, the stuff that's easy to grab and go that provides like not nasty value to your body.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will add to this though because like I come from like Roger and I like one of the things we do we play basketball. I mean I played soccer my whole life, and
You guys don't want me to play basketball. I'm 5'4".
dude, it don't matter. It don't matter, bro. I'm Roger. I need you for something
Uh,
later. I need you for something
Cole,
later.
Cole cooks me, man. I promise. I'm a little bit taller than Cole, and he could
I'm 5'9", right?
he puts me in my place. So
But like, well, yeah, dude, I need you for something. I need you for something at the end of this podcast. I need you for a clip. I do think diet's important because like even if like you said, like we'll use fried food for instance. If you're about to go into like say you're a wide receiver in a football game, bro, you're not gonna eat 9 pieces of KFC before you run in there. You're gonna eat some Skittles or something that like kind of gives you that like quick burst of energy, or some peanuts, or like this is the healthy side of things. We're trying to teach you guys
Mhm.
how you move on. Like people like don't they just want to skip steps. People want instant
Yep.
gratification. They want to just jump to this point. Like, oh, dude, if I play basketball and I just want to work on my free throws and I want to have a 95% free throw percentage, I can sit there and shoot free throws all day. But if I don't eat, I'm gonna die. It's that simple.
Yep.
Like there's other things, and it's very like people like try to make things. They look at things in a vacuum. They try to make it black and white, but it's like very dynamic. And I do think diet's important. I mean, obviously that's why we're doing this, right? But we'll move on to our next spot here. What do we have next? We have. Tell us a little bit about the work you've done and what you are most proud of and why, Zach.
All right. Most proud of Moki won his first super major after I saw him for a couple sessions.
Shout out Mohi.
Um, Shout out Moki. It was really cool to get the ball rolling. I know that he's been battling some demons of himself, or for he's been for his own place, but he was able to share with me some stuff going on with his hands, and I was able to get the ball rolling on that, make him feel ready and able to go win. Was it like Low Tide City or don't Park on the Grass? And once he had a couple sessions, his hands are starting to feel better. That's my goat. That's I felt like a
That was
soccer
lit.
mom and their kid won the winning goal.
Yeah,
I
I bet. I
that
bet.
was such a cool moment to see. Obviously he has so many other people, and he's been working so hard for that super major win. But to play even a small part of that was such a cool and proud moment of like, man, this does make a difference and this does really matter.
That's amazing, and deservedly so. By the way, it's amazing
Yeah.
you saw that. By the way,
Oh, thank you.
it's amazing. Well-oiled machine. What was it?
I'm sorry. Was there a second part of that
Yeah,
question? I'm
yeah.
most proud of.
Me too, man. I did the same thing. Don't worry about it. Um, what? Okay, I guess that's what you explained it actually. So we'll move on. What is your next goal in gaming and or your profession?
A little bit of an overlap there. My next goal for gaming is I'd like to be back on my local PR. I just moved back to Pittsburgh from Harrisburg. I think that I still want to be able to support my scene, go once a week if I can. To we have 2 locals per week, and I would like to try to make top 5 again in my local PR. That'd be great. But professionally, I'm starting my next job on Monday. I'm a full-time pediatric occupational therapist, and that's going to be most of my day for 40 hours. And I would like to try to sell them a little bit on the esports thing too.
Mhm.
That a lot of these kids, I know I was one of those kids where I was picked last for gym class type of thing. No one wanted me on their dodgeball team, or no one wanted me on the basketball team.
Mhm.
And I take care of myself. I work out 5-6 days a week, and I swam for a while too. But my athleticism aside, I think that for a lot of these kids and for the next generation, esports will really be something that attracts them. For a lot of these kids, they might not be able to be soccer players through no fault of their own. Basketball, they could still play in different ways, but in the game, they're no different. And being able to sell that to them, have them participate, and even if they're not the next Faker, the next MKLeo, the next
Faker.
I don't know, somebody give me like a
You're
Valorant
right.
player.
I don't. Tens,
But
tens,
who?
tens.
Tens. Okay.
Yeah.
But no one's training them for that. But I do think that my next ultimate goal would be giving a community to these kids, that understanding what it's like to. And then for us, we had like pizza night with the boys who played Mario Kart, Halo,
That's the PG-13
and
one.
pizza boxes up in the morning. You're staying up late at night.
Yeah.
But like to be able to like headphones on, controller ready to go, hop on with your friends because they like the same thing too. Go in the Minecraft server, go play Rocket League with your friends, Mario Kart Online, and God, hoping like Kirby Air Riders works out. Having that gaming experience was so important to me growing up. It obviously led to me becoming into esports, but for these kids too, I would I ultimately want them to know what it's like to have friends who really care about the same thing you do, and that the things that you like do matter. And
Mhm.
for them, like we shared it earlier, having that place is so important, and feeling like a sense of belonging, because a lot of these kids just need that,
It's
a
so
sense
true.
to feel like they are amazing, they are important, they do matter, regardless of the things that are not their fault of their own at all. So that's what I start next week, and
Well, congratulations. It sounds awesome. Roger, do you have anything you want to say to
oh,
that?
thank you.
No, that's a great goal. I think to
Thank you.
really build that culture to give kids something to strive for and a positive outlet to go for. Like that's I think that's all we could ask for is is when we were kids,
Absolutely.
and that's what I want for my kids is to find that place where
Right.
they can hone their niche with people that care about it and make them feel like they belong.
And like that was that's I get emotional talking about it, but
Mhm.
that's what I do with Dream On. I talk to these kids. I talk to kids that are 15 years old that are dealing with some very unique situations, and
Right.
helping them through that is heartbreaking. And as someone who's like truly been alone, like myself. Roger knows that obviously, but like I had to keep my like I say it to my community all the time. I had to keep my side of the street clean. I
Mhm.
made myself be alone through some of the decisions I've made, but I had to take accountability for that. And these kids that go through this, man, like I never want anyone to feel the way I did. I never want that, and
Yep.
that's how I like Shout out Ty Lue, dude, the coach of the Cavs back in 2016 when they won. they had a speech. They said the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you realize you were. And I found out I was put on this fucking planet to help people and bring people together. And that might sound self righteous, but I really don't care because
Ah,
it's what
it
I
is your
believe.
place.
And
It's awesome,
like
man.
I want to help people. We've managed to do that so much. We've managed to draw like if you go in it like let's be real, dude. Like if you go into other Discord servers or like whatever, like people are just fucking dogging each other, talking hella shit. There's it's the most
Oh,
toxic.
that's a smash. Oh, hold on. I'm kidding.
But like that's just Twitch. That's like YouTube. Like this is just
Yeah,
internet culture in general. Like people are like I
yeah,
said, bro. Twitter fingers don't shoot back, dog. They don't. But like
yeah.
obviously it's a Dream On podcast. I got to shill it a little bit, but like, dude, there's none of that
Of
going.
course.
There's none of that going on over here, man. There's people coaching each other. There's people helping each other through their problems. I mean, like I work with people
Right.
individually every day, from the bottom of my heart, dude. I lost somebody. Is very just
Mm,
I talk about it a little bit, but like I lost my father to unaliving, and he was my best friend, and
yeah,
like you described your father, and obviously that touched me a little bit, but like my dad was a really
yeah.
and all he wanted to do was help, but I have to take the time to recognize that maybe he did it too much. Maybe I need to find that happy medium. Roger was with me the whole time.
Yep.
Roger is one of the people who has helped me through this and has seen me grow a lot. And Roger knows that I'd do anything for him, and loyalty goes a long way. And we just want to see people get. I can speak for all three of us. I think we're all in the same vein. I think we all know that
Mm,
gaming culture and esports, one of the reasons it's very inaccessible for a lot of people is because they do like imagine you're 15 years old. Shout out J Bob. This is you, J Bob. You're about to go through this. Say you're 15, 16 years old. You go to your first local. Here's a question for you, Zach. How would you engage somebody if you're that young and you don't really know, say social reasons, right? Like, how would you get that sense of community?
I was very young when I started playing too, and I really appreciate my parents for being observant, protective, and understanding of my safety. I first started going to like children's library tournaments for Brawl. I still have like the little certificates they
Fucking
gave
love
us for
Brawl.
going.
Let's go, dude. Hell
Yeah,
yeah.
shout out to Brawl.
Shout out Brawl,
Um,
dude.
I went with like a couple of my friends. I scheduled pickups. I know for Pittsburgh, we require parent or guardian 16 or up to go with you,
Hmm. That's interesting.
or
That's
16 and
interesting.
under to go with you. That's really important. Having a buddy with you, I think, I'm biased. I think Pittsburgh is an awesome and great place, but not every place is awesome and great. And if you are, super young and you love this game and you love this game, um, make sure that you're going with people who you share that with, at least one person, at least have, a parent or guardian know where you're at all times. Have a trusted adult with you. You are fortunate enough to have that. And that's like someone that your parents are okay with you being with, like 100%. Um, I would also make sure that you're going to, don't go to I, back then I didn't really realize it, but I understand now. My first Smash Four tournaments were at a bar in a bad part of town, and I was 17 years old. My
Yo.
mom's heart was probably like in her throat the
Oh
entire
my
time I was
god.
down there.
OG shit.
But I went with friends. I went with a couple friends. I knew that there were some people my age there. I was able to meet some of the people that I'm still friends with to this day. But boy, when the tournament was over, or they said I'm picking you up at 11, it did not matter if I was top eight or if I was in grand finals. They
Hmm.
were time to go.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So,
That's good though.
as annoying as that
Yep.
was, and as much as that, like, man, like you guys don't get it. Like, I would, it matters. It's important.
Hmm.
But like having those safety protocols, I respect and understand it so much more as an adult now, as to
Yeah.
making sure that you're, see if your scene even has like protocols for minors, because that tells you a lot too. That if your TOs like took the time to say like, hey, 16 and under, you need to have like a parent or guardian with you at all times. That's someone that at least thought for 2 seconds like
Hmm.
that your safety matters. I mean, we don't want anything or anybody to hurt you while you're here and diminish your experience with the game.
Hmm. Roger, you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, like I was young once. I also didn't do Smash
Hmm.
tournaments in bars, but I made young mistakes as well. Um,
Yes,
I think a
sir.
lot of the the advice there is to understand that a lot of the things that are here in place for you, be it guidelines for your safety or your parents yanking you when you're mid competition, like those are for you. Like you may not
Yep.
understand it; it's hard to grasp, but those are, to Zach's point, for your betterment. It means somebody cares about you. That means that it's something you could be happy about. Like it may you may lose some of that perspective. You're just like, I wanted to get that dub. Like I had to win,
Hmm.
but like ultimately at the end of the day, that means someone's like looking out for you and your well-being
Yep.
and making sure that you're in a good place. And I think long term that helps just you in general. And it may not be something you appreciate yet. And I'm not going to expect anyone to appreciate that yet. But as you get older, you'll be like that. That was so great. And like Jackson shared, that's something he really, really likes and respected that and appreciates. So just try to at least take yourself back a little bit and try to get some of that
Yeah.
perspective that it's a place to love and that's what
That
it comes down to.
that
Yeah,
was
hopefully you
beautiful.
guys are competing. If you're at tournaments at like a high school or a college, that usually made my parents feel a lot better.
Hmm.
You know.
I'm gonna take it a step further because I'm coming from
Yeah.
first off, Saberling says yo Zach's origin story. Sorry, we're not reading chat all the time.
My
Um,
origin story.
yeah. I'm just reading chat, but so I'm gonna take it a step further because there's like kids like that like maybe they don't have friends or maybe they have some
Hmm.
social anxiety or along those lines. So I'm going to take this from a perspective of someone like us, right? I think people that are
Hmm.
adults, people that are like play the game for the love of the game, they want to get better, they want to like it's for a healthy reason. I encourage the people that are adults, the people who are well founded in their scenes, to go up to these people that are new, especially the young ones. I think it's important that we approach them. I do every time I go somewhere. I mean, I approach them and, hey, what's up? How you doing? Where are you from?
Yep.
Who do you play? Oh yeah, no problem. You want to play friendlies? I mean, like, there's so many ways to go about it because
Yep.
I'm coming from a place of when I asked the question, right? I didn't specify, but like, dude, dude, it's so bleak the generations on
Hmm.
and everything like that, and like we're obviously the spearheading that and the things like that, but like we all know what it's like to not be accepted because of Smash
Yep.
or League or Valorant or whatever. So I think it takes us, the people who've been through it, the people who experienced came out
Yep.
on the other end of it. I think it's important for us to reach out to one. Every time you go to an event, make sure you're reaching out to somebody that's new. Make sure you're reaching out to somebody that's young. That's my advice.
I think
Yeah.
as
I
the
just.
old heads, we have to. Sorry, Zach. We have to take the
Oh no,
lead
it's.
and be the beacons of like
It's
for
up to
these
us.
younger
It's
people.
up to
Have someone to
us.
reach out to be mentorships. Yeah, you don't have to be their best friend, but like be an outlet for
Mhm.
these people. Be a good example. Like
Introduce them to
try to
people that
take
they
some of that.
might get along with. Like use
Right,
your
right, right.
couth. You
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
that.
Absolutely. And I think it's to quote Bo Burnham, you're so used to being the youngest person in the room. Um, for at least for me, and that really hit home to me.
Mm.
Starting playing Smash so young and loving it. It was my favorite thing in the world. I can think back to some of the people I really looked up to, and were the ones who came up to me to play friendlies with me, or just like say like, "How did you hear about us?" or just normal questions. So who's your main? Just sit with them, play a few games with them. It meant the world to me when someone thought I was good, that I looked up to. And go to your O tours, and
Yes.
I love going up to some of the not even just any of the super young ones, but just young to tournaments or new to tournaments, sitting down with them, and I'm like, hey, check this out, and I show them some dumb Rob thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
It's game related
it
though.
goes a long way. It
It's
goes a long way, and
uh,
those form your best memories of the tournament too. Like, you're gonna want to come back if you see the people that are still doing well in bracket and love the game still. Or, it's weird to think of myself as the old head. It really is.
dude.
Millionaire.
It
It's
is what
so
it is,
weird.
man. It is what is our job.
Yeah. To go up to the new players and just be like, what's up? How are you doing? How is bracket? And just sit, play some games with them. And they can see how carried I am if they tell me to play someone other than Rob.
He does
Uh,
play. He does play Robbie as carry. No, for sure, dude. For
Yeah,
sure.
no,
For
no,
sure.
I
For
am.
sure.
It's
Yeah.
literally my Twitter like head.
Yeah.
It's
somebody
you click
did.
on my page, the first thing it says is I'm carried. Like,
Somebody did show you some love though. And I want to read this out loud for the YouTube video
sure.
too. So Saberlane
Yeah.
said, I was very fortunate to have met two people from my scene online and had known them for a while, attending my first local. And during that local, Zach approached me and made a point to make sure I was in the right discords. I'm appreciative of it to this day.
Of course, Ryan. Anytime, man.
It's
Love
all
that you're still coming and still kicking ass, man.
It's all love. It really is. I mean, like he said, you know, like like to take like you can sit down and do that with them, but then they need another like it's a like they need a way out too. Like maybe you know somebody they don't that you can introduce them to in their age group or like someone that plays their character, and
Hmm.
now they have coaching, now they have friends. I'm just gonna say this real fast. Like I didn't start really playing competitive Smash until you know as an adult. Like I would play like I played Brawl and stuff like that, but like I didn't play Smash 4. But I remember going to locals,
You didn't miss much.
but I am who I am now, right? I would be going there and people would judge me for the way I looked. And I was just like, I don't fucking care. Like I'm here to play the game. I don't give a shit if you don't like the way I look. What? Because I have tattoos or like what? You're mad that like whatever's going on. You're mad that like I didn't care. And then I just like I made it a point to be human to them. Despite
Yeah,
that, I could take that away because envy is the killer of joy, and I think there's a lot of that. I think there's a lot of insecurity.
absolutely.
We'll move on though. That was it. I think that was a fucking WS question though. Emma said the fourth time I was
Yeah.
at Fry's Edge came up to me and said, "What is your lore?" And I think that's the best way I've made a friend in the scene. There you go. What is your lore? Fucking, that's the most Twitch way to ask somebody what they do. The next question though, I think we kind of glossed over this a little bit, but there's a second part to it that I think we can get something from you, Zach. What is next for KAO,
Mhm.
and where can we find you?
So next for me, I start my next job at the Children's Institute next week. If you want to see me in Smash or to keep up with me in Smash, I'm active on Twitter, ft.KAO. Um, and for my next tournament will most likely be next Friday at the CMU local. See me on PGH Century. I'll be the robot.
Ye-
And thank you guys so much for
That's
hosting
facts.
me in these questions. Shout outs to Dream On, shout outs to Cold Front. And thanks, guys. I'm here to answer any more questions as long as we're on.
Yeah. Essentially, make sure you guys go follow all the socials that Zach just mentioned. I'll have them plugged in the YouTube video for this. It's been an
Mhm.
honor. You know, I know you and I have
Thank
been
you.
talking about this for a while. I know you showed some interest. We met in
Yeah.
person, but I think I don't know if when you met me, you knew who I was. And obviously, like things grow over time. And you know, it was a pleasure playing against you. You were complete, like in this sense, you're a complete gentleman. You know, I think there needs
Oh,
to be
thank
more
you.
of that. You know, a lot of people are like very unaccepting. Roger and I were playing League the other day, and I was like, I think the Smash community is nicer than the League community because, like, you know, you see all these people
Oh my
talking
god.
shit, and like I'm like playing with Zach at like a tournament at like a D tier, like just to like for the people who don't play Smash, like people who are here from music or just listening to me talk or whatever. Like a super major is like I don't like it's like a pay per view fight. I guess that's the best way to describe it, but it's like a tournament setting and things like that. But like, there's you know you get a you know cliche right, but you get more with sugar than you do with shit. It's facts. And
Mhm.
Roger, so we'll answer questions here in a second. Roger, do you have anything that you want to ask Zach? Do you have anything you want to chill out? Do you have anything you want to say? I know you have a new position, and to be honest with you, dog, I forgot what I gave you. I'll explain it.
I'm the director of. I forgot not to.
Go ahead, look, as I can
Director of
pull.
something something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We've been giving out
but
more
no,
business titles.
no, I don't have anything to show. I stream on Tuesdays at Smakadop on Twitch. It's really just play whatever. I'm not trying to build a following. I just like when people pop in and say hi. So really nothing there. We did have some of the community questions if you want to touch those.
I do want to touch on
Yeah.
your because I had to yeah sorry production I had to do this. Roger, aka Smakadop. I know a lot of people don't see him around a lot. Like I said, he has family. He's doing his thing. He's actually like doing things that I truly admire as a person. I look up to Roger a lot. Roger's helped me through a lot of stuff. But he's the creative director or director of creator operations for
There you
Dreamon. He's somebody I address all the
Oh,
time about anything business related, health wise, personal wise, and he knows me, and he helped me through like if not some of the no he did he helped me through the darkest times of my life. I mean like when I lost my father and stuff like that like this I met him through my best friend actually who works with him and shout out Matt, shout out Verdi. Shout out to
That's good.
homie. Love you, Matt. Love
For
you.
sure.
Love you if you see this. Yeah, Roger is the homie, and I got nothing but love, and it's all deserved. You guys don't see him a lot, but he does help me make some decisions. Actually, most of the decisions. But yeah, we'll get to the questions now, shall we? Do you have it pulled up, Roger, or do you want me to pull it up?
I do. And just as a quick segue, like I'm here for anybody. So if you see me in Discord or whatever, just drop me a line. I take my dad job very seriously, and I like helping people. So it may not be the
Smakadop on
best advice.
Discord.
It'll be my perspective. So,
In
but
SMAKADOP in Discord. Hit him
correct.
up. He helped me through a lot.
I may not be the timeliest because I got kids and I kind of get to stuff when I can, but I will try to get you the attention you want and
Mm-hmm.
need if you need it. So
Thank
don't be
you.
shy.
Thank you.
But all right, enough about me. One of the questions we had was, what exercise should I do if I feel wrist issues while playing? In this case, it was Smash, but just in general. So do you have like a go-to cheat sheet for that, Zach, or what do you suggest?
Yeah, first of all, you can always hit me up and I can take a look, see what's going on more specifically if you'd like. Some general like hand stretches I like to do or wrist circles. Not sure if the camera will focus on it well enough, but these are pretty good. Try to do about 20 of these, see how that feels. You can always do tendon glides or just, and it's a fancier name to just gently pull your wrist back, hold for 5 seconds. That's are really good. If you have the ability, I love these rubber bands. You can try and make claw
Ooh,
hands
shit.
out of them. These are really good.
And that's a cheap way to
If
do it
you're,
too.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, see me if there's something more specific. We can work something out for you. I don't want to give you the wrong information or steer you in the wrong direction. But those are some quick and easy ones that aren't going to hurt anything.
Simple too. Simple
Yeah,
Yeah.
too.
for sure. Anyone can do this.
What
All
we got
right.
next?
So we have how do you recommend that you maintain your mental health while gaming? So what are some tips you have? I know you mentioned the timeout and just kind of stepping away. Are there any other techniques you found to try to keep your mental right when you're in that competitive environment or just in general?
Yeah, so one of the things I've been working on for Cold Front is like mentality forms, and like how are you feeling before an event, and how are you feeling during, and how did you feel after? As long it might sound like paperwork, but it's also stuff that you can do in your head too. And I think one of the most important things, especially at the local level, if you're not ready to play today, listen to your brain. Like if your brain is saying like this game is not it right now. I know some very, very good players that have needed to take some like local breaks. They still go to the local, they play friendlies, they hang out, they get a drink because they realize, like, you know what? I'm just here because I love the people I'm with. Why do you like the game? Are you here because you really like Super Smash Brothers? Probably. We say the game sucks, but like we're
Yeah,
mostly
yeah,
kidding.
yeah. I think most people do.
um, but many players will just come and just be like, "Hey, I'm just gonna hang out today. I might play friendlies. I'm gonna take a step back." And that is ultimately going to be good for whenever you are like, you know what, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that competitive itch. I'm playing hot. I'm ready to go. I'm going to kick some butt right now. That's the spirit you need to go into for your local or the I'm guilty of like the locals today. We'll see what happens. Like
Hmm.
having that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know my team well. I know who I'm going to play against. I've been playing against them for 10 plus years. Oh my god.
yeah. Damn.
And yeah, now what do I'm almost at my 50th set against one of my friends there. Anyway, don't look up that record.
I'm looking that shit up, dude. I'm looking it up.
Yeah. Anyway, during the game, it's cliche, but it's proven to work. Taking a deep breath, you know, before stock, before you're set. Are you feeling comfortable? How's your posture? Do you have a water bottle with you? you know, you're in it, you're there. There will always be the next tournament. Smash going anywhere, even if there's
Yeah.
another Smash, even when there is a Smash 6 or Smash Ultimate Deluxe, please no. Um,
Come on, dog. What the
mostly
fuck?
kidding, mostly kidding. Um, there's always going to be a next tournament,
Hmm.
and you know that the people will be there. Go to the special events. support your scene whenever something big is happening. Someone's leaving, someone's getting married, they're having a costume party. If you have a dope scene like that that's like willing to do events that are special, show up for that. Show up for the people that matter to you, because that's ultimately what's best for your mental health in this game and feeling good about it.
That's a good
Yep.
response.
That is
And
solid
one
advice.
example,
Always
we
show
had
up
a
for the people
Smash
that show up for
prom.
you.
Yeah, we had a Smash prom, and that was so
In
fun.
Pittsburgh?
It was so great. Oh no, in Ohio.
Oh god,
Um,
dude. Oh
yeah.
no. Well, how'd it
Oh, it was
go?
great.
It was?
But, yeah, no, it was actually really. We had like a whole red carpet. We all walked out,
Oh my
like
god.
elbow walked with our dates, and you know the demographics of the Smash scene. It was
Oh yeah.
adorable. We all looked great.
I do think that like just to say something like to make it more like my father taught me this, like say you're working on a car, like the tilt thing we were
Hmm.
talking about before, like people like ask about the mental health side, but they're always looking for like this auto answer that like cures everything.
Yeah,
But like if you're working on a car and like all cars are different, it's hard to work on them, and like sometimes you might not have the answer and you might piss yourself off trying to work on it, but if you walk away and come back to the next day, you might have a better solution. I took a break. Dude, I had like a 22% win rate. I'd be going 0-2 at everything for like a year, bro. I took a break, started cliff farming, and then I managed to get some huge dubs and like create a community,
hmm,
and people watch me for playing Cloud Strife now, and it's cool because I took a
yeah,
break because I knew it was good for me and I focused on other things in my life.
yeah. There's a great article. Maybe I can find it, of a 20-minute walk. And the publication found that people who were solving a problem, they had these students that were meant to solve like a very difficult task. It wasn't purposely impossible, but it was very difficult. They were in groups of like three or four, and in some groups that just went outside, they got a drink of water. They had one group that went, they got like a little snack, and they had one group that went outside and they did a 20-minute walk, came back. Guess which group did the best? The group that went outside and took a 20-minute walk.
Mm-hmm.
They solved the problem faster. They got better. They had higher results. And there is the fMRI results showed that like the frontal cortex for advanced like problem solving was like far more activated after stepping away from something for just 20 minutes, rather than trying to just sit and like grind at it and like force the issue. Just stepping away is scientifically proven to just have way better results than trying to force your way through it.
Roger, do you have, I have something to add. Do you have anything you want to add to that, Roger? And we'll move on.
No, but it was really just like the same general concept for life. Like when I
Yep.
have problems taking hikes, it gets you that mental clarity. It makes your body move. It really does like release something in your body that makes you just chill. It neutralizes a lot
Hmm.
of all the external stimuli and all the things that go on in your head. Like it's a very good practice. I was actually going to ask you, Zach, about if you guys use like any yoga or meditation practices or anything like that as part of your mental
Oh
physical
my gosh!
health
In
for your
in grad school, I cannot tell you the amount of times like mindfulness has come up as like a
Oh
treatment
God.
option protocol for people.
Mhm.
And meditation, yoga, like, are kind of just like two ways of achieving that, but it can look different for everybody else. No one's asking you to go sign up for your hot yoga class if
No.
that's something that doesn't work for you. If you are, especially if you're not able to like sit still for a little bit, your mindfulness might be, I'm going to put on this like piano song and I'm going to walk. I'm going to focus, and because mindfulness is all about drawing attention to the self, letting the thoughts flow, right? They're letting the thoughts pass. Right now, you're in the moment, and those things don't matter right now. You're letting any of those worries flow past you. There's a couple of treatment philosophies. One's Japanese based, and forgive me, I can't remember the name. But the idea of it is that your conditions and your like, for lack of better words, your problems are the flow, and you're in that river. And sometimes that river is flowing fast, sometimes it's slow, but the idea is that you're controlling the pace at which that river flows. um, I can probably find that one pretty quickly, but I also found, while you guys were talking there briefly, that 20-minute walk article. I linked it in our little video
Sure, I'll put
chat
it.
room
I'll put
here.
it in the YouTube.
Yeah,
I'll put it in the YouTube video if you guys want to
yeah.
read that. Um,
And let me see if I can find the other one for.
the mental health aspect of this discussion is helping a lot. Needed that. That's why we're here, man.
Yeah,
We're
of
talking about the
course.
things that people
Happy to help.
they want to hear this shit. We want to
Got
help
it.
people. All three of us do. That's
Yep. It's called the KAWA model, and
Jesus.
I'll link that as well. And
I'll put it in the YouTube
this
video.
one is great for that channeling and the mindfulness of not just like going to yoga or just sitting and meditating, but other ways of achieving that mental clarity away from whatever it is that's going on in your life. And like Roger and Cole said, here for you guys. I'm still in the Dream On Discord server. Find me wherever. I'm here for you guys.
I will. I'm gonna add to this. So I think that people like you mentioned like after working with like prisoners, addicts, things like that. Like they people use yoga like the Snickers commercial. Like, oh, you're hungry, here's the
Yeah.
Snickers. Like that's the only solution.
Hmm.
But it's just a suggestion, right? So like for me personally, I had to learn this myself, but it took a lot of time to realize it. But like if I'm like in these situations where I need to like recenter myself, I know that like I like listening to fucking deathcore music or like emo trap music.
Right.
I know that I like to like educate myself on things.
Share some with the class, man. I'm down.
If you yeah, if you stay like in this level of productivity that's unique to you, it like truly like it kind of makes you like not necessarily lock back in. I don't want to say it like that because that makes it sound like more generalized, but it like you need to find like it's as Zach said as well and Roger said too. It's unique to everybody. Like these things that
Mhm.
we're suggesting are literally just like here's the Snickers, right? But like
Mhm.
it's the gateway drug into actually getting to where you need to be. But a lot of that comes from a lot of soul searching. I do think that like a lot of people suffer from the mental health side of things. I hate seeing it. I hate it. And a lot
Mhm.
of people, dude, they gotta get the fuck out of their own way because like you mentioned like all these things and like problems and like dude, life be lifing. Life just life sometimes. And like I had to learn that
Mhm.
shit the hard way. And like if you look at the three of us, we're all different. I mean, you're looking at a study professional, a father that plays video games on leisure, and you're looking at a guy who fucking been through some bad shit, seen some bad shit, and did some bad shit. And like we all look different. But we all have the same goal. Like, dude, it ain't about any of that shit. We're
Mhm.
all here for the same reason. And like, you can probably anyone who watches this or anybody that is interested, like you can probably pick out which one you want to talk to out of the three of us because we'll probably all give you the same advice, but we'll word it differently. That's how I describe it.
So I think you're discrediting my hood life. Thank you very much, but
I didn't
I'll let the
want to.
rest of
I
that
didn't want
slide.
to. Yeah, I didn't want. Hey, that's not my job to say that.
I got a history.
Yeah, I do too, man. I do too.
I get it.
We
I
both.
get it.
I actually have a fucking history, and Roger is like, everyone does bad shit. Roger, right?
I know. Just being silly. I was gonna say before you're talking about the yoga and it not being like a Snickers bar is like I actually hate yoga. The only part I like
Yeah.
is I can only meditate after yoga. That's the only time I can just like turn my brain off and just melt. So
Mhm.
it does not definitely not a one size fits all kind of thing.
I know that we've like harped on this for a minute, but like the level of meditation is a generalized term unique to the person involved in that meditation. Meditation for somebody could be sitting Indian style on their bed, humming and shit. And meditation to somebody else could
Mhm.
be taking a shower and listening to music. I mean, like it's just unique to everybody.
Mhm.
Meditation is a very broad term, but all it means is that you are alone in your thoughts and you should be comfortable there. But we'll move on. I
Mhm.
apologize. We harped on that, but I do think that was
Yeah, it's an
important.
important subject.
Hmm. Where are we at, Roger?
Those are all our questions. So we only have those two that
Right.
were
All right.
relevant that I'll mention. The other ones were kind of silly.
The
So
one was
um,
super fucking stupid. I'm not gonna lie.
mhm. So
And we don't need to
we'll
talk
just
about me. So yeah,
nope. That's
we're not doing
not
that.
relevant to this. So yep.
PJH Shady said, "Yo, is that someone from you,
Hey
Zach?"
Shay, what's up, man?
There you go. There you go. Let's see where we are at. I'm sorry. Yeah, production. Sorry. Zach, if you have anything like you showed a little bit, but like if you want to like express
Hi,
some
Pat.
more things, like the floor is yours. Go for it. If you want to say some stuff, show yourself. Say whatever you'd like. I mean, the floor is yours.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me once again. ft.KAO is where you can find me for Smash stuff. I mostly post raccoon content, and I'm not sorry about that. I play a lot of rhythm games outside of Smash. Um,
W, bro.
but I think more before I leave, one thing that I think would go a long way for a lot of these people is, or for people with mental health problems that have like problems like sitting still with yoga or like being alone in your thoughts and like having something to like tune into, uh, is a progressive muscle relaxation. There are so many like free guide videos that are really good for that. That helps you like, especially if you need something like tangible for like, oh, I need someone to like tell me what to do for this. Because I think a lot of the times it's like it's hard to sit still with your thoughts, especially personally. I have a hard time with that. But wanted to shout that out before closing out or getting away from that. But like I said, start to Children's Institute next week. I will be competing at CMU on Fridays and for Pittsburgh Smash. And I really appreciate Dreamon for having me and Cold Front for sponsoring me and allowing me to do what I do and spreading the message more. Thanks, guys.
That was awesome, and it was an absolute fucking honor having you here. By the way,
No, of course.
obviously
Thank you for having me.
we have a little like dude, like I'm hitting my vape this whole time. Like I'm not saying do what I do. Like you know what I mean. Like I still eat healthy. I take care of my body and I work. Never mind. We're not getting into that. Roger, do you have anything you want to say before I close it out?
Oh, thanks for having me. I just met Zach like an hour ago. He seems like a great dude. So he seems like a
Thank
good
you.
person to have in your community. I'm glad he's out there. Sorry, my bad. Um, so yeah, I'm happy that you guys have somebody like him to look out for you guys. So
Mm-hmm.
Of course. Happy to hear from you guys.
I'm as proud of you as I can be for somebody that I just met an hour ago. So you seem like
I
Hey,
appreciate
that's
it. It means
good
a lot.
good
though.
solid
Means a
guy.
lot.
That's
So
positive as fuck.
Thank you. Yeah.
Um, do you have anything else, Roger?
that's it. Thanks for having me. It was a
I
pleasure.
I'm gonna close it out. Roger is
Thank you.
somebody I know. Like I gotta shout out Roger. I'm sorry, bro. I glazed you for a second, man. I like I said, he works behind the scenes a lot. He's active in the community. Someone that's helped me through a lot, knows me in real life. We've experienced a lot together, and dude never makes anything about himself. Let's just put it that way. I mean, if I'm upset, this motherfucker will just let me talk for a long time. He does it to me all the time. I mean, like I'm going through some shit now and things like that. But we're strong. We move on, and I do think that it's important that people look inwards for their clarity. But sometimes, like actually, Zach, I want to say one thing. Are you going to any majors anytime soon in the Midwest?
Next one will be the next Midgard. Uh, in major, I'll be going to Port Priority in Seattle. Will be my next one.
So well, I mean, because there's all this stupid shit going on. Like I missed the last two Midgards. I fucking hate it. But I'll be at the next one. Maybe anybody that watches this, maybe they can come talk to us.
Yeah,
Maybe they'll see us talking.
absolutely. I'd love to.
Maybe we can set something up. I'd love to work with you again. I think we both share a message.
Absolutely.
You're more educated on it than I am. I got the platform. Roger's got the insight. Roger's way more compassionate in that regard. But this episode meant a lot to me. It really did. I
Of
was
course. Thank you so much.
the
You
whole
meant a
point
lot to me too.
the whole point of Never Sleep, this podcast that we do for Dream On, like we're transcending outside of whether people are here for that, listen to my music, or it doesn't matter what you're here for. This is a worldly problem we're discussing. It's not just about Smash. This is something that can genuinely help you in real life. I'm not going to show at the end of this. This is too beautiful in my opinion. I think it's important that we recognize that, and it's been an absolute honor. Thank you both. Thank you, Roger, and thank you, Zach. I really do. And this
Of course.
Dream On, Never Sleep, episode 3. Here's the DO hand symbol. For anybody that doesn't know, we do this all the time. DO, baby. Thank you guys. Peace.